Hey you, welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
If you're aiming to, crush that postgraduate entrance exam and really want to boost your English vocabulary, well, you've definitely hit play on the right thing.
Absolutely.
Today, we're digging into a key set of words. We're calling it your Day 25 vocabulary list.
Think of it as a crucial language you'll see popping up again and again.
Exactly. In academic texts especially, we're going to explore terms around like departments and meetings, get our heads around some important concepts, nail those school-related words,
Always useful.
sort out some tricky sound-alikes, like around the word board.
Oh, yeah, those can trip you up.
Definitely. And look at curriculum language and get a grip on words, starting with app plus words for different kinds of equipment.
It's quite a range, but stick with us. Understanding these in context is key.
It really is. It'll boost your reading, your accuracy,
Mm-hmm.
basically help you ace that exam.
For sure. And what's really cool is seeing how these words connect in the real world, especially in academia or professional life. It's not just definitions.
Right. It's about seeing the network, how they actually work.
Precisely. That's what unlocks understanding.
Okay, let's jump into the first category. Departments and meetings. First up is council.
Right. Council.
And, it's more than just like a casual chat group. Think formal committee, maybe a local assembly, making decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the example sentence, he won a seat on the council. That implies getting elected to a local governing body.
Yeah. So what kind of issues would a council typically deal with, you think?
Well, they often have a specific area, right?
Yeah.
Managing local services, maybe advising a bigger organization, setting policies. The point is, council usually suggests some formal authority, collective decisions.
Got it. Okay, next. Sector. This one feels super important, especially for reading about economics or industry stuff.
Definitely. It means a division, a field, an industry,
Yeah.
often within a national economy.
Like the example, China is making efforts to expand such economic sectors as tourism and information technology. So, tourism, tech, distinct parts of the economy. Can you think of how, say, the tech sector might directly impact the tourism sector, just as an example?
Oh, easily. Think about online booking platforms, travel apps. That's all information technology, right?
Right.
And it's completely changed how people plan and experience travel, which is the tourism sector. Seeing those links helps you grasp the bigger picture.
Makes sense. Then there's bureau. What's that about?
It's basically a department, a section, or an office, often part of something bigger like government.
Like the Weather Bureau makes daily reports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned the related word bureaucratic.
Ah, yes. Bureaucratic.
Right.
When something's described like that, what kind of image does that conjure up?
Well, often it suggests a system with, lots of rules, procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it implies slowness or inefficiency.
So the bureau is the office, but bureaucratic is how it operates.
Pretty much. It can feel overly complicated sometimes, though that's not always the case.
Okay, let's talk session. This word seems to have a few different hats it wears.
It does. It can be a period of activity.
Like we have both elementary and advanced training sessions.
Right. Or it could be a formal meeting, like a court sitting.
The court is now in session.
Exactly. Or even a parliamentary meeting. If you were at an academic conference, what kind of sessions might you find on the schedule? Oh, all sorts. You'd likely have keynote sessions, maybe smaller breakout sessions on specific topics.
Q&A session.
Yeah, Q&A sessions too, where you can ask the experts directly. The key idea is a dedicated block of time for a specific activity.
Gotcha. Okay, next word. Minister. Now this one can be a bit tricky. Two main meanings here.
Right. Head of a government department.
Like Minister of Education.
Yeah.
Or a religious leader.
The examples show both. The minister advised him to leave, and he's been successfully elected prime minister.
So how do you figure out which one it is when you're reading?
Context is absolutely key.
Yeah.
If the text is about government, politics, cabinet stuff, it's almost certainly the political official.
And if it's about church services or congregations?
Then it's likely the religious leader. The surrounding words usually make it pretty clear.
Okay, makes sense. Then we have administer. That's a verb.
Yeah, meaning to manage something, carry it out, or to give or provide something.
The example was the company's finances have been admirably administered, managed well.
Exactly. And you've got related words too. Administration.
Which can be the management itself or the people doing it or even the U.S. government. Right.
Right. And an administrator is the person who manages things.
So if you were, say, an administrator for a research project, what would you actually do?
You might handle the budget, oversee the team, make sure ethical rules are followed, report on progress, things like that.
So administer is really about the practical side of running something.
Effectively, yes.
Okay, let's move to delegate. Two forms here too, noun and verb.
As a noun, it's a representative, someone attending a meeting.
Many a delegate was in favor of his proposal.
Right. As a verb, it means to authorize someone else to do a task.
Some managers find it difficult to delegate, I can imagine.
Yeah, can be tough. And then delegation is either the group of delegates or the act of delegating itself.
Thinking about maybe a student group project, when would you need to delegate?
Well, if the project's big, has different parts,
Yeah.
you delegate tasks based on who's good at what. Makes it more efficient.
Spreads the responsibility.
Exactly.
Next, tutor. Noun and verb again?
Pretty straightforward, this one. As a noun, an instructor or guide.
He can serve as the woman's tutor.
And as a verb, well, to instruct or guide someone one-on-one, to tutor them.
What do you see as the main benefit of having a tutor?
I'd say the personalized attention. They can really focus on where you specifically need help, tailor the explanations.
Good point. And finally, in this section, tuition.
Right. Usually means the fees you pay for instruction.
Like, few can afford the tuition of $10,000 a term.
Ouch. Yeah. Or it can mean the teaching itself, like she received private tuition in French.
So, thinking about postgraduate studies, how big a factor is tuition in your planning?
Oh, it's huge. Understanding the costs is critical. It affects where you can even apply, maybe pushing you to look for scholarships and funding.
Definitely something to factor in early. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Focus on light concepts, starting with notion.
Notion. It's like a belief, an idea, a thought, maybe a general understanding of something.
The examples were good. Online culture thinks highly of the notion that the information flowing onto the screen comes there by specific request.
So it's an idea central to that online culture.
And he has no notion of the difficulty of the problem. He doesn't grasp it.
Exactly. It's like a mental picture, a general sense.
What's a notion you've bumped into recently that, made you think?
Well, the notion of the attention economy has been around a lot lately.
Oh, right.
The idea that our attention is this scarce resource that companies are fighting for. It really makes you think about how you spend your time online.
That's a really interesting one. Okay, then we have concept, which is, well, an idea or a concept.
Pretty much. The example was they radically changed people's concept of beauty.
Right. Can you think of a time when your own concept of something really shifted? Maybe based on new info or experiences?
Oh, definitely. I'd say my concept of certain historical events has changed quite a bit as new research comes out. Different perspectives get highlighted.
Yeah.
Shows how understanding evolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now let's dive into iSchool-related terms. First one, academic.
Right. This can be a noun or an adjective.
As a noun, it's someone at a university, right? A teacher or researcher, a scholar.
And as an adjective, it just means related to education or scholarship. Very common.
Like the example, maintaining high academic standards should be the priority.
Of a responsible university.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you hear academic journal, what does that immediately tell you?
It tells me it probably publishes peer-reviewed research, scholarly stuff, upholding those high academic standards.
Precisely.
Next is academy, a specialized school maybe, or learned society.
Yeah. Like she trained at the Royal Academy of Music.
So what's the main difference between, say, a general university and an academy?
An academy usually zooms in on specific field music, art, military, whatever. It's very specialized training, often more selective admissions than a broad university.
Got it. Our next word is punctual.
Just means being on time.
Simple as that. He is always punctual for his class. Why is being punctual so important, especially in postgraduate studies?
Well, it shows respect, for one thing, for the instructor, for your classmates.
True.
Plus, you don't miss important stuff, you don't disrupt things, and it helps you stay on top of the schedule. It's professional.
Good points. Then we have epidemic, noun or adjective.
As a noun, a widespread disease or outbreak.
Over 50 people died during the flu epidemic last winter.
And as an adjective, just means widespread or prevalent.
If there's an epidemic, what might public health officials do to control it?
They might roll out vaccinations, encourage masks or distancing, trace contacts.
Public health warnings.
Yeah, issue advisories, raise awareness, try to stop the spread.
Okay. Moving on to scholar.
A learned person, basically. Or someone who gets a scholarship.
And scholarship, the related word, is that financial aid for studying or research.
Both, yeah. Financial aid to support study Or it can refer to the academic research itself, like a work of great scholarship. The example sentence focuses on the aid part. She won a scholarship to study at Stanford.
What kind of things do you usually need to show to win a scholarship?
Often it's academic merit,
Yeah.
great grades, research potential. But some also look at financial need or specific talents, extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Varies a lot.
Right. Next up is forum.
A place or platform for discussion.
We will be hosting a 2-day forum on childcare. What about online forums? What are the plus sides of using one for your field of study?
Oh, huge benefits. You can connect with other students, researchers, share ideas, ask questions, debate current topics. It builds a community.
Collaborative learning, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, last one in this section. Panel. This has a couple of meanings, too.
It can be a control board, like instruments and lights.
A red light flashed on the control panel.
Or, and this is common in academic context, it can be an expert group or discussion group.
Like the example. The panel then informally accepted several general conclusions. So a group of experts reached some agreement.
Exactly. If you were presenting research at a conference, you might face a panel Q&A.
Right. What would that be like? What would you expect?
Well, you'd present your work, and then the experts would likely ask questions. They might want clarification, maybe challenge an assumption, suggest future research.
Chance for deeper discussion, then.
Exactly. With people who really know the field.
All right, let's tackle those tricky words around board.
Okay.
So board itself can be a piece of wood, obviously, but also a governing body. Like, he's on the board of directors, so part of the leadership group making decisions.
Right, for a company or organization.
Or it can mean meals provided with lodging. She pays $100 a week, board and lodging. So rent plus food.
Yeah. So 3 distinct meanings there. How do you tell them apart?
Context, right. You got to look at the surrounding words. Are they talking about building materials, business, or where someone lives?
Exactly. The context usually makes it pretty clear.
Then there's a board, adverb and preposition.
And this one just means on a ship, train, plane, etc.
Simple, welcome aboard. If someone says that, where are you probably standing?
Likely stepping onto some kind of transport.
Yeah.
A boat, a train.
Got it. Okay, let's move to curriculum-related words. Starting with seminar.
Right. A seminar is usually a small group discussion or training session, more interactive than a big lecture.
Like the examples. Teaching is by lectures and seminars, and Professor Mackay will give a seminar on Pound's poetry.
So if you're in a seminar, what might you be doing?
Maybe presenting your own stuff, discussing readings, group work, asking questions.
All of the above. It's meant to be very engaging, very participatory.
Okay. Next, curriculum.
That's basically all the subjects taught in a school or college, the whole program of study.
Examples. The school curriculum should be as broad as possible, and all children should have access to the mainstream curriculum.
When universities design a postgraduate program, what do they think about for the curriculum?
Well, they need to think about the learning goals, right? What should students know and be able to do by the end?
Yeah, the core knowledge and skills.
And the sequence of courses, how it all fits together, if it reflects current research.
And industry needs sometimes. Yeah, it's complex.
And their semester.
A half-year term in a school or university system.
I was finishing my last semester in college. Or I spent a semester at the University of Madrid. For anyone who's been to uni, what are the usual milestones in a semester?
Oh, you know the drill. Start of classes.
Midterms.
Midterms or big assignments, yeah. Various projects, maybe presentations.
And then finals at the end.
Right. It's that defined cycle.
Okay, now for words related to app, starting with apply.
2 main senses here. Make a formal request.
I have decided to apply for this new job.
Or to put something to use.
The new technology was applied to farming.
Right. And we have derivatives, application, the request itself, and applicant, the person applying.
Like, employers require applicants to submit very personal information.
So when you're getting ready to apply for that postgraduate program, what do you need for the application?
Oh, gosh. Transcripts, letters of recommendation, that statement of purpose thing.
Standardized tests, maybe?
Right. It's a lot of pieces. Each one needs careful work.
It does.
Next up, appliance.
Usually means a household electrical device.
Caution. Don't turn on any electric appliance without permission. Thinking about everyday appliances, which one would you find hardest to live without?
Ooh, tough one. Maybe the fridge. Keep food fresh. Or maybe the washing machine, just for convenience.
Yeah, they really are integral now, aren't they?
Definitely. Modern convenience.
Okay, final section. So equipment and instruments. Let's start with apparatus.
Apparatus. Sounds a bit more technical, right? Means equipment or machinery, often for a specific, maybe complex task.
Like firefighters need a breathing apparatus, or science departments say they are lacking basic apparatus.
So if you walk into a science lab, what kind of apparatus would you expect to see?
Microscopes, probably. Centrifuges, other specialized stuff for experiments.
Exactly. Things for analysis and experimentation.
Then we have device.
This is a bit broader. A tool, a piece of equipment. Can even be a plan or method, though equipment is more common.
Examples. The device has no new function. And playing with digital device discourages kids from active discovery. What's a common digital device students rely heavily on?
Laptop, easily. Or a tablet. For notes, research, writing, communication, everything.
Absolutely. Next, the verb equip.
Means to provide someone or something with necessary items, or to make them able to do something.
All riders are equipped with reflective vests and safety lights, provided with them.
Right. And the noun is equipment, the necessary items themselves.
First, he bought new equipment for one of the departments. If you were going on a serious hike, what equipment would you need?
Oh, essentials. Sturdy boots, the right clothes, backpack with water, food.
Map, compass.
Map and compass, or GPS, yeah. First aid kit, maybe? Being well-equipped is just crucial for safety.
Totally. And finally, instrument.
Another word for a tool or piece of equipment, often for a very particular purpose, maybe requiring precision.
Like the example, with creativity, even old-fashioned instruments may produce spectacular sound effects, thinking musically there.
Or medically. Think of a surgeon. What kinds of instruments do they use?
Oh, scalpels, forceps, clamps. Lots of highly specialized tools for very specific actions, right? Cutting, holding, suturing.
Exactly. Each designed for a precise function.
Wow. Okay. We've covered a ton of ground today, a real deep dive.
We really have.
From the council making decisions to the cost of tuition, understanding a key notion, keeping up academic standards.
Navigating board versus a board, the structure of a curriculum and semester.
How to apply for things, different appliances, and that whole family of apparatus, devices, equipment, and instruments.
It really shows how these words weave through so many contexts, especially academic and professional ones you'll encounter.
It's amazing, yeah. Especially heading into postgraduate studies, you'll see this stuff everywhere in your reading.
Absolutely. And remember, seeing them in different contexts, like the examples we used, even just in our chat today, that's what makes them stick.
Building that network of meaning in your head.
Exactly. Not just isolated definitions.
So our advice to you listening, as you study, try to actually use these words. Talk about them, write with them. It's a great way to make them your own.
Definitely. And we'd love to hear from you. Was there a particular word or maybe a connection between words we discussed today that really clicked or was most insightful? Let us know.
Yeah, share your thoughts.
And just keep spotting these words in your reading. The more exposure you get, the more natural they'll feel. You'll get the nuances.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into your Day 25 vocabulary. Hope it gave you a real boost.
We really hope so. Keep an eye out for more vocabulary sessions.
And wishing you all the very best with those exam preparations.
Keep up the fantastic work.
Until our next deep dive, keep on learning.